It's time for your daily dose of all things Chicago sports. This is the Daily Score. Now, here's your host, Mark Grote.
Hey, on the show, we are going to hear from the Bears starting quarterback, Justin Fields, and we are going to talk about Justin Fields right now as well, because what I am anxious to see and to know, and I'm sure that you Bears fans out there are anxious to see and to know, is if, although the game against Denver ended in sports tragedy because the Bears blew a 28-7 lead, is what a lot of Justin Fields did in that game, is that what we could possibly see out of Justin Fields going forward? And will we see elements of that in their Thursday game against Washington? And, to simplify, they did everything under the sun in terms of moving the pocket and putting Justin Fields in different alignments and different spots from which to throw the ball. And that made life a lot easier for him. He looked so comfortable out there for so much of the game. And right now, we're not talking about the interception. We're not talking about the strip sack, huge issues. But right now, what I want to know is that going to carry over? And is it possible for it to carry over because Washington has a good defense as opposed to what we saw against Denver? That is, like the Bears, that Denver defense is bad. That question was brought to Justin Fields today, or that theory on being productive Justin Fields, but it was against the Broncos.
How do you sort through what can work every week versus what worked because you were playing a defense that had been struggling?
I think that's a complicated question, but, to kind of simplify that, I think you can look at what we did, like, for example, DJ making a contested catch, how guys were on the details, how guys ran the routes at the right depth, how the line protected. You can carry that over, but scheme-wise, you really can't. Most teams do things differently, so you're also going to have to change things up offensively to, try to attack the defense the way, they can be attacked in a way that, you can score points on them. But you were about to do a follow-up question.
What you did on Sunday, do you think that is closer to what your offensive identity is?
I do think we, took a step closer in finding our identity as an offense. So, that's always a positive to get. We just have to keep working hard and, keep getting better each and every day. This week's a short week, so really got to lock in mentally because we don't have the same amount of days we do to lock in on the game plan. So, guys are locked in mentally, a lot of walkthroughs, and we just got to lock in and get the body right, and especially the mind for, this game coming up Thursday night.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be as easy for Justin Fields to do the things that he did against Denver, but it sure would be nice to see them, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will continue with that theme, and they're just going to have to be different matchups. There's obviously some different play calls in certain scenarios that they could do against Denver that they cannot do against Washington. So, like the way Fields answer that, and the fact that he accepted that's a fair question and a complicated question because he knows that the Denver defense is not great. So even he wants to know if he's going to continue to do this. One more cut from Justin Fields, and this is as we wind down the days and hours and minutes for Chase Claypool in the Bears uniform. This is Justin Fields on Claypool, who's going to be inactive against Washington.
What's your reaction to him being gone another week?
It sucks, but at the end of the day, can't control it, and got to go out there with the guys that we have and execute like we did this past Sunday. So, wish nothing but the best for Chase, and I think he knows that. He kind of messed up by kind of saying that, but wish nothing but the best. He's a talented player, and he's a great person. Has a good heart, and works really hard. So, definitely gonna be staying in touch with them regardless of what happens, and wish nothing but the best.
You messed up saying. Justin, do you think he'll be back at some point this season with the Bears?
That's a question for Coach Flus and Pose. I don't make those decisions. That's but my pay grade. So yeah.
When you say messed up and what he said, are you talking about?
Talking about the media, how he just said no. Talking multiple times, and he really tries to avoid the media. So that day y'all just caught him, and And, of course, I think, if he got asked that again or if he, wish he could take it back, he would. But, of course, he can't. And, is what it is. So yeah.
Saying that it's not being used correctly. That whole exchange on Friday.
Yeah, that exchange on Friday. Yeah.
Do you think that factored into being inactive?
No, Coach told us that that one thing didn't factor in for them. It was a numerous of things. I'm not sure what that was. Like I said, that's more of a question for him. I don't make the decisions, but I'm just saying as a whole, just the drama it caused, just all the big media stuff. I know if he could take it back, he definitely would. So
it's only 4 games into the season. We've had a lot of conversations like the one we just had about Chase. How challenging has that been for you as a leader to kind of navigate all of this, not only not winning on the field, but then the stuff that happens off of it?
I don't think it's as challenging as it may seem from the outside. But I think guys in here have done a good job, managing, and blocking out the outside noise. So that's kind of been good to see. And we just know, we just try to focus on what we can control, and that's what's going on in here, and that's, getting ready for Washington and getting ready to play. So as much as y'all think it does affect us, as much as the media thinks it affects us, I know the guys in here are solid. They bring the same mentality each and every day to work. So definitely proud of those guys, the way they've handled everything and the way they work through everything.
We're critical of Justin Fields sometimes. I have been, in terms of his demeanor at the podium and dealing with the media, just because he doesn't really give us much. But he has handled the Chase Claypool thing like a champ, man. Like, just in terms of going back to the post game on Sunday and then today out at Haugh, he's been really mature about the whole thing. Here's what I think about what Justin Fields is saying and probably what other players are thinking. And this is just me projecting on them. They didn't say this to me. I think that they are very sympathetic as human beings towards Chase Claypool, and they probably do genuinely hope that he gets his shit together. But I think that the overwhelming feeling from most of the players would be good riddance. You know what I mean? Like, we've all seen you do what you've done, and there's probably stuff that we don't even know. And I'm not talking about anything like heinous, but just like, and not being a good teammate in terms of just being a distraction in every, whether it's his temper or just not playing well on the field. So I think that that's what people feel. It's like they've all had enough. Like, we love the guy. Hey, we love you, man, but time to get yourself fixed and go somewhere else. And hopefully you have an outstanding career. But that's just the way I see it. I feel like that's what it is. Good luck and good riddance. Last cut, Luke Getsy spoke, the Bears offensive coordinator. I put together just about every really important theme as it pertains to Justin Fields, who, again, 28 of 35, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a crucial interception. So that's your background for Luke Getsy on all things Justin Fields.
Where did you see the most improvement from Justin in this last game versus like the first couple?
Statistically, right? No. He's been locked in. I told you guys that each week. I feel like his comfort level and what we're doing, knowing what his assignments are, knowing what's going on around him is much improved, and he was able to put that all together much better this week, for sure.
When you went back and looked at it, what do you feel like carries forward for the entire offense from what you guys accomplished Sunday?
Well, I think, as you look at the way that game played, we had 78 snaps instead of 50 snaps that we've had each of the first couple of weeks. So that part of it, just showing that we were able to play go into the game plan and play the way we wanted to play, and we were able to run the ball. We talked about explosives last week, how we were lacking that. We were able to go get those in the run game. And anytime you're able to do that, that's going to open up other things for yourself. And so, it was an opportunity for us to go out and we executed a little bit better in each area, and we were able to create more explosives, and that, always leads to more points.
How do you evaluate, how do you discern how much of that is progress and how much of that was facing the worst defense in the league?
Well, everybody in this league is really, really good. So I wouldn't take that for anything as far as who you're playing against from that extent. Every challenge is different as well, right? We go up against a team this week that is loaded and, as good of a front five as there is in this league. And so it's a different type of challenge, but one we can build on, as we continue to grow through the season.
I know we can all interpret statistics however we want, but you did mention stats when Larry asked about improvements. Is that kind of a relief from your perspective and maybe even from Justin's perspective that, there's some actual numbers put up on the board that look very sturdy?
Yeah, no, there's only one stat that really matters to both Justin and we didn't get that one done.
All right. I mean, that's fair. But yeah, obviously behind the scenes, they've got to be like celebrating what they accomplished and, without looking like they're bad teammates or, at least in Justin Fields can't say, oh yeah, man, 335 yards, 4 TDs, or else you look selfish. So, but they deserve to celebrate that a little bit. We'll go out with the injury report here, and just because it's both entertaining and of consequence. Number one, Jalen Johnson did not practice because of the hamstring injury. Eddie Jackson did not practice because of his foot injury. Great news, Tevin Jenkins, full participant. It should be noted, though, that because of the abbreviated week, it's just walkthrough style practice. So take that into account. And I'll add something else on Jenkins here in just a second. And then Chase Claypool, it says DNP, did not practice. In injury, under the injury category, it just says other. Chase Claypool is under the other category. So we'll see what becomes of Chase Claypool. It's all so sad. It really is. As far as Jenkins is concerned, we'll probably find out tomorrow. They said if he kind of holds up over the first couple days of the week in terms of practice, he feels okay. Luke Getsy at least said that they do not rule out the possibility that Tevin Jenkins could be back starting at guard for the Bears on Thursday night. We'll see, and we'll certainly let you know tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening to the Daily Score. We appreciate it. For Ray Diaz, our executive producer, I am Mark Grote. Take care.